What up? What's happening, everybody? Happy Saturday. It is May 11th. I am finally live again. I know it's been a while. It's been a long time. I should have left you without a dope beat to step to. I apologize. It's been, I had to take some time off the last couple of weeks. Well, at least 2 weeks ago, y'all heard the pre-recorded show where I had the fellas on. Last week, I was not feeling well. Also lost my voice in the process of fighting these here allergies, which suck. But I am back. Live show. What's happening, y'all? Sports Talk with Mark on the Good News Radio app. Download it. Apple, iTunes Store, Google Play Store. Tell everybody about it. Spread the word. Speaking of spread the word real quick, I don't know who specifically to shout out. However, word got to me that one of my episodes, was it 6? Maybe 6. Probably episode 6 where I interviewed MMA fighter Phil Davis, which, by the way, he won his fight. Awesome time. Need to get to another one. But found out that episode, particularly with Phil, made its way to a Reddit thread when they were talking about MMA. So word got to me this week that one of the shows made it to Reddit. For whoever posted it out there, thank you. I appreciate it. Did not expect that, especially something like this to spread to that platform this fast. But I appreciate it. It's humbling. Very, very humbling. So, yeah, just getting into the show today. What up, Keith? I see you out here, man. Talk about some young Mark, man. What's good, dog? Yeah, we got some stuff going on in the world of sports. Two big topic, or one topic that I will never stop talking about because they keep giving me content. The LA Lakers. Man, let me tell you something. This is getting Detroit Lions worthy. This is getting bad, and it's making me laugh. I love the Lakers, but man, it's getting pretty bad. it's getting pretty bad. Like this week between Ty Lue not getting hired, which was an embarrassment. There was a protest outside of Staples Center yesterday on Friday, and there's a rumor that Jeanie Buss, the owner of the team, has been told by her confidants that she needs to trade LeBron. But first, let's get to the protest. Video and audio coming up courtesy of ESPN. Let's listen.
I don't have anything against Jeanie, but she needs to put the right people in management. That's the biggest problem we have now. I still have high hopes for this team, but not with the people who are running the team. That needs to change.
If they don't have Ty Lue, Jason Kidd, or a second star, there's no Lakers in the finals or the playoffs in 2020.
If Jeanie's getting the credit for when things go well, Jeanie has the power to control things. She has the power to make decisions. She has the power to fix it. So I have to lay accountability with Jeanie Buss right now.
Stop being whiny, stop crying. It's a Clipper town now. We're gonna be on top. You guys are on a Titanic, and it's gonna sink.
Man, this is fantastic, baby. I'm loving this, man. I can't even believe this, that they're coming out here protesting against a great organization, man, with 16 championships, as they always claim. You know what I'm saying? To me, what is this protest, going to prove for them? You see what I'm saying? You don't even have, it's supposed to be a Lakers town. Look how many people out here, what? 150, 200?
I like to call this PEMDAS. It's simple algebra, order of operations. Sign Leandro Ball, draft LaMelo Ball, hire LeVar Ball, 5-peat championship.
The front office needs to get their ish together.
Give us someone who knows basketball to be in management. Go talk to Bob Myers, Masai Ujiri, Jerry West. Go find someone who knows what they're doing with basketball. Even me, I would be better than these people. They don't know what they're doing, clearly.
Starts at the front office, right? Ownership, bad. Coach, bad. No president of basketball operations. No coach. GM, bad. Players, bad besides LeBron. Need more good players. See, I'm saying it simply. That's how simple it should be.
So to see a historic organization like the Lakers going through similar trials and tribulations that us Suns fans have gone through for such a long time, I'd be lying if I said it didn't bring a little joy to my heart.
So that was reaction from or I shouldn't say reaction, that was people from yesterday's protest outside Staples Center, which, number one, if you're going to protest the team, they don't practice at Staples Center, y'all. They practice in El Segundo. You should have protested outside of there. Probably would have got their attention. Two, For those that are saying the two gentlemen, one of them being Clipper Darrell. If you don't know who Clipper Darrell is, Google him. He's a Clippers basketball fanatic. I met the guy one time. He's actually a pretty cool dude. Yeah, this ain't a Clippers town. Sorry. Even with the minor success that the Clippers are having currently, this is not a Clippers town. Not at all. And, oh, what's up, Keith? You said that these people obviously don't have jobs. Well, probably not. I think most of that crowd was pretty young. So school, at least college students are getting it out right around now. So I don't know. If you got a job and you went, cool. If you didn't have a job and you needed something to do, cool, good for you. But anyway. Oh, snap, we got a call. What's happening? You were on with Sports Talk with Mark. What's happening?
What up, Mark? It's Keith, man.
What's up?
Man, I had to call in because I'm glad you played that clip, and I'm glad that you bring this up because I've said this and I have to say it on your show for everybody to hear this.
Thank you.
The people who are out there protesting obviously don't understand growth, they don't understand patience, and they don't have regular jobs.
Okay, so outside of the regular jobs part, what is it about patience that they don't understand?
Because it's called you have to okay, when you say rebuild, they're missing the point of actually building. You know, like you can't just keep changing. I think that the Lakers have done this so much in the past few years. Yes. Nobody has had time to develop into a Laker. Like
that is true.
To develop into a Laker. You know what I'm saying? It's like we didn't win, you out of here. We didn't win, you out of here. And if we go back to the greatest Laker of all time, which I personally believe in, Kobe, and then the second greatest Laker of all time, which is Irving Magic Johnson. Irving Magic Johnson had a 25-year contract. He was there for life. Kobe Bryant played 20 seasons with the Lakers. He was there basically for life. So those players took time to develop into Lakers, into the organization. You can't expect anybody to buy in that early. Like one season, I'm supposed to be all in. No, you got to give these players time to develop into a Laker. I mean, I was all for the trade for D'Angelo Russell. I'm not going to act like I wasn't. But look at the players he's become because now that he's developed. So that's my argument, and I think that the Lakers and Lakers fans have to understand the reality of humans and basketball.
Well,
you know,
my one rebuttal is I am all for rebuilding. If the Lakers were truly just going to rebuild and commit to rebuilding, then you do not go get a superstar like LeBron James. Because by bringing him into town and bringing him onto the team, your expectations for what you need to do now while you have him immediately go up. Whether that's fair or not to the young guys, that's just the reality of living with LeBron. It's win now, win as much as you can while you got him because you never know when he's going to leave, which he's proven before. And he's won in all the places that he's been. So it's not that he's not capable or a team is not capable of winning when he's on the team because obviously he's done that in the last two places he's been. But if you're going to rebuild, you do not go get a superstar, not even just a superstar, a megastar of his caliber. If you go and get a star, go get you an all-star and have that all-star develop with the rest of the young guys so that way there's still youth within the team. But if majority of your team has an average age of 22, but your best player is 34 on his way out, that you're putting two different types of teams together and saying, all right, go make it work. That cannot work. At least, and nor can it be stable over time because you mentioned Kobe in his 20-year career. Well, what happened on Kobe's decline? When Kobe was declining, the team did not prepare itself for the end of Kobe. They waited until Kobe left, and then it was, okay, well, let's rebuild. Versus if you knew you weren't going to win with Kobe again, which we all knew wasn't going to happen, even the biggest Kobe fans knew his last 3 to 4 years in the league, Lakers weren't winning a championship. You start the rebuilding process then, so that way by the time now, which they could have been, should be, then you can plug in a LeBron James and say, all right, we got guys here ready to go. They just need the one person to take them over the hump. Versus a bunch of rookies within the last 3 to 4 years, and you're like, well, we don't know what his potential is going to be. So therefore, we're going to kick him out, but we should have kept him. But then we kicked this other guy out. Look, we should have kept him in hindsight because look where he's at now. But then we keep these other guys, so we don't know where he's going to be. Oh, LeBron, cool, you're available. You want to come to L.A.? Come on. But don't bring anybody with you.
So, well, look at this. So I agree with that you don't get a megastar, a superstar, and expect to have that type of situation. You do have to get a couple, especially in today's climate and especially in the West. So, but I think that the expectation was that LeBron was not going to be alone this season. You know, and I think that's what kind of messed up the expectations. Like, okay, well, you're not going to bring nobody to play with LeBron, then yes, LeBron is no reason for him to be here. But the expectation was we're going to get a second all-star, superstar, you know, or megastar. If that situation, one, to compete with Houston and to compete with Golden State, mainly Golden State. You know, but so I agree with the A part. I think that, you know, you don't go get a superstar. You go get a couple. But understanding that basketball is not all about winning, and you know that as well as I do. Basketball is still a business, and
but if you're in the
team is a company.
But if you're in the NBA, you're in the business of winning as much as you can.
No, I disagree.
You're in the business of winning.
I disagree.
And if you're the Lakers, and if you're the Lakers, which I have a personal problem with right now, which Jeanie Buss, to her credit, as much as she's grown up in the organization, as much success as she's seen, she is relying on its past, its history of what was, and just using its namesake to attract modern day free agents, which does not work anymore. She's not recruiting to the modern day NBA player. She's recruiting to a LeBron who understands the history of the game, who was alive and around enough to see certain players win championships and see the Lakers have their success late 80s and early mid 2000s. He's seen that. He's been a part of that. Compared to now, where you have a lot of guys, a lot of young guys, and I said this on Courtside Radio like weeks ago. I said players don't need big markets anymore to be superstars. That's been proven.
No, that's not true. Because look at Kemba Walker. Nobody even knows who he is unless you watch basketball.
But he's also not on a winning team. He's not on a winning team.
No, because he's in a trash market, and he's not on a winning team.
But what hurts more?
Dame Dollar.
Okay, let's talk. You mentioned Dame Dollar, aka Damian Lillard.
Yes.
Portland has a track record of success getting to the playoffs and making a top 4 seed in the past 3 years consecutively. He also has his own shoe deal.
Portland, nobody cares though. The reason why I'm saying is because what makes you a superstar is beyond basketball. You know what I'm saying? If you are a household name, you don't have to be on the court to still have them run your commercials and stuff like that. That's what makes you a superstar, megastar. Steph Curry, LeBron James,
LeBron, by the way, became a superstar in Cleveland. That's not a big market.
No, LeBron. No. LeBron became a superstar
in Cleveland.
He
still did all that in the state of Ohio. He still did it in Ohio. KD became a superstar in Oklahoma freaking City, along with Westbrook.
No, KD was okay. Yeah. Okay, I give you that. Okay, I give you that. But I will say this though.
You mentioned Dame Dollar. He's in Portland. The dude got his own shoe.
Yeah, but
and goes to the playoffs.
Okay, for instance, so all right, look, let's look at it like this. When I think of a superstar, megastar, I think of somebody that don't watch basketball that know who he is. My daughter is 6. She knows who LeBron James is.
All right, and there's only 3 guys in the league like that right now. There's only 3.
Well, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like that's a different, and that's because of but you made a point though. You said because he did it in Cleveland, but LeBron is one of the very few who could ever even do that. You know what I'm saying? But I use Dame Dollar as an example because he's in Portland, and because he's in Portland, he's not getting the same TV time that the Lakers are going to get. He's not getting the same TV time as the Knicks are going to get.
Well, he's
Kemba
not.
Walker,
Well,
I
no.
use
Well,
Kemba
number
Walker
one.
as-
Well, the other thing too, though, Keith, and I argue this is when you are a superstar player and you play on the West Coast, when TV in general caters to an East Coast audience. So if your games are coming on 10:30, no matter how many times of the day how many times a week you're coming on, the East Coast is asleep by the time you're coming on TV. So it's naturally harder for an East Coast audience, which TV to a degree caters to.
That's fair. That is very fair. But how many Charlotte games have you seen this season?
How many games?
How many Charlotte games have you seen this season?
You said Solid or Celtics?
Charlotte.
Charlotte?
Yeah.
A handful, and I saw
Exactly.
one, and I saw one of them in person.
A handful, right? Literally, I saw them on TV, maybe literally a handful, no more than my fingers.
But you also have to be a winner in order to get on TV. You have to earn your TV time. You have to earn your TV
That's
time.
fair too. No, because the Lakers, they still getting their TV time.
Well, when the Lakers were really bad, they weren't on TV that much. They really weren't. Yeah, they would get a couple marquee games because of the brand that is the Lakers, and they also have a worldwide audience, so people will naturally turn on the Lakers because of their affinity with the team. But in all reality, were they really on TV that much before LeBron got there? No. They took a nice TV hiatus between Kobe leaving and LeBron getting out here. They weren't on TV that much. Hell, if anything, Cleveland was on TV the most, behind Golden State, and occasionally you would put the Rockets on. You would get Oklahoma City on because Westbrook was doing his thing. Damian Lillard got some TV love. The Celtics, because, again, that's one of those teams where they naturally have everybody in the world following them. But besides those six, everybody else is kind of up for grabs on TV time. So, and of those six teams I mentioned, I mentioned Golden State, so that's San Francisco, Bay Area. Cleveland, small market. I said Houston, relatively decent sized market. Who else I say? I'll say Oklahoma City, small market. Portland, small market. And the last one I forgot, but of those six, majority were small markets with superstar players.
Does give you national recognition.
Well, yeah, because people like watching winning. People don't like watch losers. People don't like to watch losers. People don't like to watch losing teams, especially when the losing team doesn't have somebody that's worthy of watching as an individual talent. No. The only time that happens is if you are a dynamic number one pick and you go to a really bad team with no other superstars around you, but because you're the number one pick, everybody wants to see how good are you going to be.
That's true.
So if the Knicks got Zion Williamson and didn't get Kyrie, KD, Kawhi, whoever, but they still got Zion, the Knicks will be on TV. I bet you 35% of the televised games nationally because of him.
But that has nothing to do with winning, though. That's what I'm saying. Like he's on TV regardless if they win or not. Because back to your original statement, like, why would you sign a player, and if you're not prepared to win? The reason why is because season tickets were $3,000, and then they went up to $5,000 when they signed LeBron. That's why you sign a player like that. Because, my point earlier was like, basketball, I don't believe is all about winning. I totally don't. I believe that is a portion. But guess who wins at the end of the season? Everybody. Because as long as you made your profit, you know what I'm saying?
Most teams don't make a profit. I'm just telling you that right now. Majority teams in
you said
professional.
No teams?
I didn't say no. I said majority teams actually don't make a profit at the end of the season. Majority teams don't.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So
that is very true.
Winning though does help, and the league also does revenue sharing. So the bigger teams that constantly make money, Lakers, Knicks, Celtics, teams of those caliber, their profits they have to share with the rest of the league. So a Charlotte Hornet franchise gets money to keep them running from teams that make a profit, which ain't that many.
No, I mean you're right. But because if the Lakers is in the playoffs, we see Laker flags all around us, everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So
yes,
it'll be everywhere.
Yes,
So I agree. So revenue does go up by winning.
Yes,
but just the straight reality that they charging $2,000 more a ticket by signing this player. One, it helps, and they already had the money in the cap, so it wasn't like, oh, we got to bring in extra money from whatever we had. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's just, but that's simple supply and demand at that point. I mean, that's basic economics. I mean, the whole town was trying to get the Laker games.
That's why you signed that player. That's why you signed that player, though. You signed that player because you sell jerseys.
But you signed that player also. But you signed that player to also win. The Lakers are trying to win, and they're not doing a good job at it. The business part naturally comes with it.
They did not sign. I believe that up until after the trade deadline, and I think everybody else did too. After the trade deadline, we realized the Lakers are not trying to win this season.
I don't think that was the case. I think the management and staff that was in place at the time of the trade deadline, along with a natural dislike for the franchise that is LA, at least the Lakers, that coupled with them being messy about their business, made that trade not happen with Anthony Davis. I don't think they sabotaged their own season. I don't see why the Lakers would do that, especially when they have promised wins immediately.
I think so. I mean, because all the events that took place with Magic leaving and all kind of stuff, and then on top of that, LeBron's so busy, he got so much stuff going on. So I mean, just to kind of because when I heard I heard you playing the video, I'm like, man, like they don't really understand what's happening. Like, first of all, LeBron can't do it alone. He's never had done it alone.
But that's why fans are also fans too, because there's a element that sometimes fans don't understand, which is okay. Yep. It's easy to not understand it and give your opinion and say and be emotional with it. That's the whole point of a fan. It's short for fanatic.
Right.
If you're a fanatic about something, you're invested into it to a certain degree. You're not in the business side of it. Absolutely. You're not making decisions. You are a consumer. You are a customer. You want the team to cater to your needs and wants and desires. That's it. If your needs, wants, and desires are winning and having superstar players to come watch so that you can buy a new jersey every damn year, well, Lakers ain't really giving you all of that. They gave you one. Now you want them to go do it again, which might be hard to do. But then again, it might not, because if it were LeBron's way, and I'm using air quotes here, Kyrie will become an LA Laker next year, and 9 times out of 10, somebody else coming with him. And a couple of young guys will be traded. True. And a couple of young guys will get traded along the process.
That's very, and that's why I say like you gotta be patient, because they're gonna have to bring somebody there. They know LeBron. He's an aging LeBron at that, just like you said earlier. So it ain't like we getting 25-year-old LeBron.
Right.
We're not getting Miami Heat LeBron, and we're not getting LeBron, Cleveland LeBron when he was with Kyrie.
And technically, and technically, the LeBron only giving the Lakers another 2 more guaranteed years. That third year, which was the fourth of the overall deal, is a player option. So if nothing happens next year, the year after, it's going to be, is LeBron coming back to the Lakers, and it's going to be the same old circus that we've dealt with the past. We've dealt with it twice.
Right. I got you.
Which right, LeBron set himself up for that. He gives himself an out.
And I think this is a smart business move.
Yeah, he's done it before.
So that's all it is, smart business move. So like I said, man, just my take on it is that the fans got to be patient. It's the first season, and we knew that, and we thought that we would have somebody coming by the trade deadline. That did not happen. So I don't think all this talk about trading LeBron and all these fans going crazy. I think that's just something that we got to sit back and we got to wait for next year to start and see who we acquire over the offseason. Once the season starts, I think those arguments can be made.
Okay.
That's my take on it. That's my take on it, man.
Hey.
But anyway, I appreciate you. I'm still listening, and I want to hear what you got to say about Kyrie possibly coming to the Lakers, man.
All right, I got you on that. So I got a couple more videos coming up, man. But I will dabble in the Kyrie talk.
My man. All right, for sure.
All right, man.
All right, peace out.
So yeah, y'all heard Boss Man Keith Good News call in. Great times, great conversation as always. But going along the lines of what LA's doing, and the point that I mentioned during the conversation with Keith was the Lakers are trying to sell themselves when they're not in a position to sell themselves anymore. Once upon a time, yeah, Lakers were the Tiffany blue box. Right now, they're not the Tiffany blue box because a lot of these young guys don't care. They care about, again, getting their money. Some of them care about winning. But everybody does not need to be a Laker in order to live the LA lifestyle, to live a global lifestyle, to become iconic. I'm using air quotes again, to be these moguls that people desire to be. You can do. It has been proven now you can do that from anywhere you live, as long as you win, as long as you got your dollars. Everything else will make itself happen. LeBron did it in Cleveland. KD did it in Oklahoma City. I mean, even Shaq, to his credit, when he was young, became a phenom in Orlando before he became a Laker. Lakers were his second team. He was a phenom in Orlando already, went to a bigger city, also at a time when the lure of being in LA meant something more in that time frame. Now, guys are transient, guys are mobile, guys want to play with their friends due to the AAU culture. It's a lot going on there. So if it were me running the team, I personally would make the Lakers look like a team that is welcoming to the new generation of players versus this museum of basketball history, which it is to its credit, but you got to spice it up a little bit more. You got to be a little bit more creative. You got to be a little bit more exciting. And actually, speaking of Jeanie and her take on the team, another video, again, provided by ESPN. Stephen A. Smith also threw out there this week that Jeanie should potentially sell the team. Let's listen.
The protest outside of the Staples Center, which is some unprecedented stuff when you consider Lakers law, the fact that, outside of the Boston Celtics, this is the greatest basketball franchise in history. When you consider all those banners hanging up in the rafters, the tradition, the history of this franchise, and the fact that it has regressed to such a point that you have protesters planning on being outside the Staples Center to highlight how pathetic this situation is. I think it's the last stand. I think if Jeanie Buss doesn't capitulate at this particular situation, she'll never learn. And the Lakers, they should sell the team. I'm telling you right now, here's the reality. Jeanie Buss is not respecting at all the competition that exists in this town because everybody knows it's Lakers Nation and that the Clippers will never be the Lakers. She's riding on that, but she's not dealing with reality from this perspective. You don't have to compete. You don't have to be, quote unquote, you could be the most popular franchise in town, rather. And it doesn't matter if you ain't winning and you home every year while the Clippers are in the playoffs. Ballmer is worth over $30 billion. Jerry West is his right-hand man. Lawrence Frank is his executive. Doc Rivers is his coach. And not only do they have a team devoid of stars, led by the leading scoring of Danilo Gallinari, all right, with Patrick Beverley and other guys, ascending. But they'll have cap space for at least one and possibly two players, okay? And so you're talking about them believing they'll get Kawhi Leonard and fantasizing about getting Kawhi Leonard with KD. So when you look at it from that perspective, you give LeBron no help. You don't give him the coach that he wants. It can't get any worse than this. So my suggestion would be simple.
All right. So, again, Stephen A. Smith on ESPN's First Take, video, audio, courtesy of ESPN, ABC, Disney Network, all that. Cool. Got my credits out. Cool. Anyway, hey, should Jeanie sell the team? All my LA people, what y'all think? Should Jeanie sell the team? Maybe. But I think that's also a natural reaction a lot of times I've seen in sports where it's owner, either they're meddling or they're not meddling enough. Then there's the rally cry. Sell the team, get rid of the team. You don't know what you're doing. Okay, that is an option. That is an idea. But then there comes life after the sale. Who's going to be the guy or woman or family or industry, business tycoon, titan, whatever, that's going to buy the team? Are they going to care about it too? Are they going to care more? Are they going to care less? Is the team going to be the exact same thing that it was no matter who the ownership is? That's always the other side of selling a team. It's, well, now, because if you're the fan base, if the fan base had its choice, owners could sell. They would make owners sell the team and have somebody that they think is worthy enough to own the team buy it. Yeah, that ain't how it works. Ownership goes off of votes. You have to be allowed to do it. You have to have the capital plus the actual make the emotional investment into it so that you are putting a decent product on the court, field, ice, whatever the case may be, whatever sport. It's the same everywhere. So you have to think about life before life, during life, after the sale. In my opinion, should Jeanie sell the team? Maybe. And I can't definitively say yes. I can't definitively say no. She hasn't owned the team herself for a decade yet. She's getting there, but not yet. This is also what's going on with the Lakers. Happens to be a trend at times when you have teams that are the family business, and so the original head honcho who bought the team and made X team great and all the titles and rings and championships and success came under the original owner. Now their kids are running the show. Usually the team tends to crumble. Example A, okay, the Lakers are 1, New York Yankees are 2, New York Giants, football, New York Knicks, let's see, there's several more. The Cowboys aren't there yet because Jerry's still alive. They might get to that point, but even still, under Jerry's reign, the Cowboys are what they are. Y'all know if you watch football. And there's other examples out there too. Now, an example that I've seen and I've witnessed where first generation owner did great, second generation ownership is doing pretty decent. Pittsburgh Steelers, I give them that. And outside of the specific examples that I mentioned, there's a couple here and there. But anyway, so, and I don't know who would buy the Lakers anyway that would make the team any better. I don't know. Because it's not the owner that's also making, plays, that's calling plays on the court, on the field. I mean, there's so much that an owner does not do, but that they do, but they also don't do. They give them way too much credit. We also don't give them enough, but it's whatever. It's murky. It's a lot of stuff for another day. Keith, to answer your question, should Jeanie sell the team? You say no. You say to who? I don't know. This ain't my opinion. I'm just throwing it out there. I just want to see what people got to say. I don't know. That's what makes this part fun. I get to pose these questions. And if people got something to say, say it. Matter of fact, if anybody has an idea that they want to chime in on, call me. Phone number, 323-900-0478. One more time, 323-900-0478. Call me. If you're listening to it on the app, start commenting. I will respond. Let's keep the conversation going. All right. I guess the last part, I have the video up. I'm not even gonna play it because to me it's not even worth it no more. The quote was from ESPN's Jalen Rose. He gave out the opinion that, if Jeanie doesn't do what LeBron says, then LeBron should demand a trade. Yeah, no, he should not demand a trade. Here's why. What is the trade going to do for him besides get him out of LA, which he clearly wants to be? He wants to be out here. He's having a great time living out here. I'm having a great time living out here. I ain't trying to get traded, and I don't even play sports. I work in sports, but I don't play them. And I ain't trying to leave LA anytime soon. So that's just off the table. 2, what team is going to want him at this stage in the game? Also, based on the season that he had last year, coming off the most serious injury that he had, there's now asterisk next to his name. LeBron is now mortal. We've now seen him hurt and life before, during, and after an injury with LeBron. We also have seen if he's not invested in something, he ain't doing it. Or he'll gladly take his time and wait until it's time to show up and then be who he is. Okay, cool. But every team don't want that. Every fan base don't want that. Every there's not enough situations, I think, in the NBA that can sustain him and sustain his status. And he also got to get along with the coach, plus management, and he got a whole crew of people coming with him. Every team is not built to take on the entity that is LeBron Inc. So demanding a trade, I don't see the need for it. He has every reason in the world to do it, simply because I would equate his situation to that of a college basketball player, college football player, college athlete that gets recruited to a school. They go to said school, sign a letter of intent. The coach that recruited them, whether it's an assistant coach or the head coach, whoever recruited them and got them there, at the end of the season, all right, I'm out. Cool, I'm gone. Well, now you feel jaded. And this happens a lot, by the way, in college sports. So there are a lot of people out there who are listening to this who understand exactly what happens. And that's happened to them too. So I feel bad for their experience where you came in, there was a vision, you were going to play, or you were going to do this, or you were going to transition to here. And then coach that made all these said promises leaves and either drops off the face of the earth, or they go take another job elsewhere. And now you're stuck waiting for a new system to come into place. And now you don't know if it's going to work. So kids transfer. I don't blame them. So from that standpoint, yes, there is a argument to be made for him to request a trade. I get that. Do I think it helps him in the long run? No. So I wouldn't advise it. If I was on his advisory team, it just wouldn't be a good look. And I don't see any benefit from it. I mean, because what are you going to do? Get traded back to the East and dominate the East again with a potentially subpar team in the Eastern Conference? Because now you got to get past Milwaukee. He can beat Toronto. We've seen that, so I'm not worried about them. But you also possibly have to get past the Sixers if they can get out their own way. Yeah, Giannis owns the East now. So at this point, LeBron just needs to stay put. Hopefully things get better. Now, with that being said, LeBron staying put, who's coming to L.A. in the summer? I don't know. I'm curious to know, but I don't know. Rumor has it, Kyrie Irving has spoken to people close to him about playing for the Lakers. Would that be a match made in heaven as far as LeBron and Kyrie playing together? I think it would be great. I think both of them need each other on the court. I personally am frustrated that Tyronn Lue did not get the head coaching job. Reports were this week that the Lakers offered him only a 3-year, $18 million deal versus the league standard for coaches, 5 years. That's what Luke Walton had. And now the Lakers have to pay him out the rest of the terms of the contract. So he didn't even get his full 5, but he still had 5 with the Lakers. And then when he left the Lakers and went to the Sacramento Kings, got a 5-year deal. So to shortchange Tyronn Lue and essentially to give him the 3-year deal only to be here and coach LeBron and essentially manage, again, the entity that is LeBron James, I think, 1, it's a slap in the face. 2, he's a championship coach. He's won a championship and gone to multiple conference finals. So what are you doing? Anybody else that's on your list, allegedly, Jason Kidd is a candidate again. Frank Vogel, former coach of the Indiana Pacers, who he got to back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals, which both teams lost to LeBron. And he was just fired recently from the Orlando Magic. Did not do anything with them. But after he left, they became a playoff team. Just saying. He's a candidate for the coaching spot. They should have got Tyronn Lue. I think it was a done deal until they, messed that one up on them by themselves. Which, by the way, there's been too many interference calls from within the Lakers organization on how things need to get down and how things are happening. The Rambuses, Kurt, Linda, be quiet. I know y'all Jeannie's friends. Be quiet. You don't need input. You don't need to give input. Jeannie, stop asking for their input. I know Kurt played for the Lakers. I know that's your girl husband. Stop it. give them season tickets for the rest of their life and let them just be your friends. They do not need to be involved at all. Do you hear me? Stop it. Get a competent staff and let them handle basketball operations as need be, and go be an owner and sit out the way. Just move. Because the last thing the LA Lakers need to become are the New York Knicks of the West, but I think they're already there. Damn. And on that note, well, we'll see what happens in the summer. All right. Now, moving on and staying in the sport of the NBA. Conference finals matchups are coming up, baby. Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. So, currently, only 2 teams stand right now in the conference finals. The Milwaukee Bucks, they did not sweep. They did not sweep Boston. However, it was a 5-game sweep. Boston won game 1 in Milwaukee. I think the Bucks were a little frazzled in that one, and then Bucks went on and just demolished them for 4 games straight. Cool. So, Milwaukee Bucks are waiting their next opponent. And last night, the Golden State Warriors ended the Houston Rockets season in Game 6 in Houston, which, dog, I don't know why y'all love James Harden. I don't understand it. I am not personally a fan of his. He is a great scorer. Cool. But he is no champion. And I don't ever see him taking a team to a champion. Do I see him being a valuable piece on a championship team? Yes. But the leader? No. No. Yep, so Houston about to paint again. So the Dubs are in, waiting their next opponent. So tomorrow, Sunday, there are 2 Game 7s. First, in the East, we have the Sixers and the Raptors, Game 7 in Toronto. I think Toronto's going to pull it out at home. I mean, I would hope that they do, just so that they can get back to the conference finals and not go against LeBron. But then they got to go against Giannis, so we'll see how that goes. The Sixers, though, if they do pull it out on the road in Toronto, good for them. I think in the fashion which they play, which is to be determined, will say a lot to Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons and how they do their thing. And I have people in the comment section talking about, I am disrespecting James Harden. I need to mute my mic. Yeah, you need to mute yourself because James Harden is overrated. Yeah, I said it. Take that one. Come mute this mic for me. Get at me. Anyway, the Sixers, I mean, they can beat the Raptors. They forced a Game 7, so we'll see. I do think Toronto's going to pull it out at home because I think they need it, and it will also help in their argument to keep Kawhi there. But nobody knows what Kawhi's going to do because Kawhi don't talk. So we'll see. In the West, the Warriors' upcoming opponent will be potentially either the Denver Nuggets, so the number 2 team out west, as well as the Portland Trail Blazers, the number 3 team. Game will be in Denver, and this matchup, I will say this series has been pretty fun to watch. It's 2 teams. Portland, we've seen the last, couple years, past 3 to 4 years, who have gotten to at least the second round of playoffs, but couldn't get over that hump. So I think personally for me to see Damian Lillard get to the conference finals and go against a Steph Curry in a 7-game series like this with the stakes being so high, I would personally like to see that matchup. I like the youth of Denver, and I like what they're doing. I like where they're going next year, dog. At least for my personal entertainment, I want to see Damian Lillard versus Steph Curry and see how that goes. Now, on the flip side, I think Denver can cause more problems for Golden State. So from a who can push Golden State to 6 games, 7 games, I think Denver has a better shot of doing that, even though they are younger. But from a talent standpoint, obviously Golden State outmatches both of them. They outmatch Portland that much more. So we'll see. But I want to see Damian Lillard get to the conference finals. I do. I just want to see him do it because I respect that man's game. I respect his heart. I respect his tenacity. He's doing it in Portland. He doesn't want to be on a mega team, a supreme team, all-star team, whatever. He said that publicly. I respect him for that. So I do want to see him go as far as he can take that team. Do I think they're going to the finals? No. Do I at least want to see him get to the conference finals? Just for more validation? That would be great. Oh, I got people calling in. You on Sports Talk with Mark? What's up?
Hey, yo, this is Michael the PG, man.
Michael, the point guard from Courtside Radio. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, man? I just had to call in because, I'm listening to your take about the Trailblazers and Nuggets, and I think you're right. I think the Nuggets will have the best chance to beat the Warriors just to the fact that they have more depth.
Yeah.
And that's the Warriors' weakness. And just, man, Jokic is going to be a problem for them because, you don't have that bully with Cousins. And, Bogut is older. He can get Draymond in foul trouble. Like, he's just so amazing. So I think the Nuggets have a chance to make it a 6-game, but if KD comes back and he's healthy, the Warriors will eventually get through.
I mean, KD's supposed to come back. I mean, I guess apparently history has shown he's had mild calf sprains before, which is why he was out last night's game. Usually from reports that when he's had this injury, he's only been out at least a week. So I think he misses games 1 and 2, or he may come back just game 2. So we'll see. So if that's the case, then, and obviously game 1 is going to be in Golden State no matter who they play. No, they're going to play in Golden State, whatever. But I think I'm with you. So Denver has a shot, but if anybody can steal game 1 against Golden State, then that's more power to them to at least get them rattled.
Yeah.
To at least get them rattled.
Yeah, man. And then your take on James Harden was dope, man. I don't think that he's overrated, but I just think that, man, if you can't step up and play big in these winning games, we need to stop giving you all this praise for your season performances because
he's a regular season MVP. That's all he is.
Yeah. And it's like that's when, even of course I talk to the guys and I'll be like, man, sometimes we have to look past stats because it's some of the smaller things that you may do series by series, game by game in the playoffs that helps your team win and make you look that much greater. So I don't know how the hell they lost. I was so goddamn pissed off that they lost. Like, at least take it to game 7, Just take it to game 7, but to lose at home in front of your fans to a team without KD. Steph Curry had 0 points in the first half, and you're tied 52-52. Well, it's disgraceful, man.
Whether the Warriors do or don't have KD, the Warriors have proven that they're still good without him. So, by the way, Keith is on the chat room going crazy talking about we tripping. We are not tripping, sir. You're tripping because you have way too much love for James Harden. Way too much. And it's okay. I mean, if you want to be a fan, you will be a fan all day. However,
he drunk like 8 mimosas this morning, so he probably a little drunk.
Got 8 mimosas. No,
so he's probably a little drunk, so excuse the nonsense that he's bringing to the show today.
All right, for sure. I'll let him slide. Because, again, I don't think Harden, for as great of a talent as he is as a scorer, at this rate, Harden going to go down like Melo. He's going to go down like Melo. He will. But if he can transition his game, maybe let up on the scoring and play some damn defense, then I think he'll be higher than Melo. I think he's going to be an area with him. He's going to be Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Allen Iverson, where they're MVPs who had great numbers, were great players. But even Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, and Allen Iverson took their teams to the finals.
True. Because they made the finals all together, but as individual faces of their team per se, they couldn't do it. And hey, that's why I hate how they do it sometimes, because they throw these endorsements all around, put these people's faces on TV, and it's like they're not even winners, man. I want the people on TV that's winning.
Okay, hold on.
Let me see the champion.
So Keith is still going hell. First of all, he talking about y'all acted like the Warriors didn't have the best record before KD. We didn't say they didn't. Have y'all not been watching this man? I guess he's talking about who are you talking about? And then he said if it wasn't for the Warriors, he'd have a ring. I doubt that. And nobody's giving a ring with the Warriors assembled the way they are. They're vulnerable. They're always vulnerable. You just got to catch them.
Yeah, got to catch them slipping. But
you have to catch them slipping.
It's been a great playoff so far.
Yeah. And this the first playoffs in I think 14 years without LeBron James, and it's been very entertaining. At least out west.
Yeah.
The East has had its matchups. I think it's because of the second round now. The matchups now have been a lot more compelling. Now, I will say that Brooklyn-Philly series, I wanted that to go 7 just because I wanted to see Philly get tested. And I love the young squad that Brooklyn threw out there this year, which only means they can get better next year if Russell comes back. So we'll see on that because he's a restricted free agent, if I'm not mistaken.
Stay off the weed. That's all they got to tell him, man. Stay off the weed. He'll be all right.
He'll be
fine.
I
heard you say you had Toronto. I had I bet wings with Rob Parker that Philly. I've been saying Philly since the summer that they will at least make the conference finals. I'm sticking to that. I think they're going to take this game 7, man.
I mean, yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens.
The Drake curse is real.
As long as Drake don't show up in a jersey, I think they're good.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing with the Drake curse. He show up in a jersey. If he show up in a jersey, you're done. If he don't show up in a jersey, they cool because they've won with him in the building before.
That's why I messaged him on IG saying stay away from Lakers, stay away from Chiefs, stay away from Angels because I don't want him to curse any of those teams if we get to that level, you know?
All right. And so once again, Bossman Keith is saying, not catching the Warriors in a 7-game series. Stop it. We talking about the best team possible in NBA history. That's debatable. Can't blame James Harden for that. I can blame James Harden for that. You know why? Because he don't show up when they do.
Facts. It was a 3-minute period where the Warriors didn't score, Houston didn't score. Eric Gordon missed a layup, Harden missed a layup, Tucker missed a wide-open 3. You just got to make those plays to win the game at home.
And one thing about Harden that I would use in comparison, to like a Kawhi Leonard, who's been a Finals MVP, LeBron James, regular season and Finals MVP, and KD, a regular season and Finals MVP. All 3 of those guys, at some point, have had great defensive performances in the playoffs. I have not seen it from James Harden, and that's what I think separates those guys compared to him. Because when it's as much as he can score, cool, that's great. Y'all in the NBA, y'all supposed to. But I have not seen a great defensive performance that has taken his game from where it's at now to the next level, and also to take his team with him because of a great defensive performance, or at least a stretch of time where he just said, you know what, I need to lock down on somebody and cause turnovers, cause missed shots, and get our team in the best position to not only just retain the ball, but get a lead and keep that lead where it's supposed to be. I haven't seen it. Anybody else that's been a champion, at least in recent history, has had great defensive performances when it's counted. Even if it was just one act of saving the game. They've all done it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he hasn't.
At the end of the game, he should have been like, man, I'm guarding Steph. I'm going to make it tough on him. If I take him away, we win the game.
Right. Go guard the best player on the team. He's not old where he can't do it. Go guard the best player on the team. Don't make Chris Paul do it. Don't make Eric Gordon do it. Even if both of them are bigger than Steph Curry. James Harden is bigger than Steph Curry. He can bully him if he wanted to. Go bully him.
Man, so I was so disappointed I had to do my little rant on IG, but I thank you for having me, Mark.
For sure.
Keep doing what you're doing, big dog. It's dope. Your show is dope. I respect it. See you soon, man.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
All right, later.
Once again, y'all, Mike Hill, the point guard from Courtside Radio. Also part of Good News Sports and Good News Radio family. Check the show out Thursday nights at 6:30. Gotta throw that plug in there. All right. I'm done with basketball for now because my chat room's blown up with just preposterous, these comments. They're Keith again is saying, what? Bully Steph? Y'all acting like he easy to guard. Yeah, you bully him around. He ain't that big. All you got to do is size him up. It's occurred. Go watch how the Clippers mess with him. Anyway, moving on to a much more different topic, keeping it within sports, much more different topic. And this topic actually I'm about to bring up, it wasn't made, I wasn't on the search for it. It was brought to my attention. A old college buddy of mine, Tanya, she hit me up the other day. It was like, yeah, Unisports, look into this. I was like, okay, so what's up? And the topic, also with society and culture and change, as we've seen in modern times in recent history, is the role, well, I shouldn't say role, but the ability for transgender children, when I say children, I'm specifically talking high school, so transgender high school students to participate in the sports that they now identify, and the different rules that are out there in different states as far as transgender children who are trying to compete in sports. So it was when it was brought to my attention, I completely didn't think about what that would look like in, just anywhere. I hadn't thought about it. I mean, maybe once upon a time, sure, but nothing recently that came up to my attention. But I did a little bit of digging, so I do have some video clips here, and bear with me on the time. The first one provided by ABC News and Good Morning America. It's 5 minutes, great audio. Listen to it, and this is gonna be one of two videos. Or audio clips, video for me, audio for you, that I will share with everybody. But this first one, again, provided by ABC News, Good Morning America. This one talks about two transgender track stars. And when I say transgender, I am talking about born as male, transitioning into female. And they run track in the state of Connecticut. And let's take a listen.
To a GMA exclusive, two transgender high school runners, well, they're kicking up dust in Connecticut, taking the top spots at the state girls championship, leaving parents wondering if they have an unfair advantage. Lindsay Davis is here, and you sat down with the track stars to talk all about this.
That's right, Michael. We're talking about a subject that's so sensitive that Andrea and Terry, who you're about to meet, felt when it was time to tell their parents that they're transgender, they each revealed it by text, and now they have gone public with it, and they're facing opposition from people who say even though you may feel like a girl, you need to compete against the boys.
Terry Miller and Andrea Yearwood dominating the competition at the Girls Track and Field Championships in Connecticut earlier this month, coming in first and second place respectively. And while it was a state race, their wins are making national headlines, not because of what they did, but because of who they are, two transgender girls.
When was the first time that either of you found any kind of opposition to you participating on the girls' team?
I was expecting it, so every day I'll go home, search up Track and Field High School, Terry Miller.
Because you wanted to know what people were saying?
Yeah.
Some of those comments were harsh. Critics complaining that Andrea and Terry both have an unfair advantage since they were born boys.
At what point do you decide, actually, it's more appropriate for me to be on the girls' team and competing with other girls?
I decided that the summer before 9th grade.
They've both started hormone therapy and say that for the most part they've been welcomed by friends, family, coaches, and administrators with open arms. But there is some backlash from parents and students. 2 petitions were even started in an attempt to change the current rule of the state's governing body of interscholastic sports. The rule states that students are entitled to participate on a team based on their gender identity, how they identify.
The girls athletes are at the physical disadvantage compared to the transgender female.
Bianca Stanescu started one of those petitions after her daughter Selena lost to Andrea and Terry at a track meet in May.
They have naturally testosterone within their body that has been proven to give a physical advantage in sports.
The mom, who was unaware that the girls were already undergoing hormone therapy, has gotten a little over 100 signatures. Medical science tells us that estrogen hormone therapy does change the body, replacing some lean muscle with fat. But of course, everyone is different. Andrea's parents say what's most important to them is the well-being of their child.
Track is number 100 on my list of concerns as a father of a transgender daughter. I'm talking about raising a child for a life. And so is it fair that that child is excluded? Is it fair that that child doesn't feel like they have a place to belong?
It allows her to be who she wants to be, and I think that has a little bit more weight than just winning a medal.
The rules vary from state to state. In 7 states, including Texas, students must play on the team that matches their birth certificate or have undergone surgery or have had extended hormone therapy, while the NCAA requires the completion of 1 year of testosterone suppression. Medical research cannot really identify the line where a competitive advantage might exist for trans athletes of either gender.
What do you want to say to other transgender youth, young people, teens who are out there really struggling through this process?
Just follow your heart. Like, don't let other people determine what you do in life.
Let's just play devil's advocate for a moment and just imagine that you were both born girls, and then all of a sudden you had two boys who identified as being girls, and they said, hey, we're going to be on your team, and maybe now you're not performing as well because they are better.
I'm not going to discourage you or try to say, oh, it's not fair, and it would just push me to run faster. I'd be happy for them because they get to do what they want. They're happy, so then that should in turn make me happy. And they're brave. They're just different from everybody.
And just to be clear, the mother who started the petition says that she would like to see the girls sit out for a year after hormone therapy before competing with other girls. Now, this is certainly sparking a lot of debate, and it's something that schools across the country are dealing with because an estimated 150,000 teens in this country identify as transgender.
And you know, it's a very interesting argument on both sides.
You can see compelling argument on both.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
All right, so that was the first video, again, provided by ABC News and Good Morning America. Yeah. I hadn't thought about any of this as far as how you determine who gets to play with who. Now, obviously, when we're all little kids, and when I say little, I'm talking ages 3 to 8, maybe 10-ish, depending on where you at, depending on which YMCA you go to, how they rules play out. I mean, usually for the most part, sports at a very early age are co-ed because all the kids are tiny. You know, most of them don't realize their strength. You know, everybody's cool. But then you get to this level where now there's a little bit more on the line. There's obviously pride, but then you have collegiate scholarships that are up for grabs every year that are on the line. How do we regulate who gets to do what and who gets to be rewarded based on somebody's transition, change, all of these things? And actually, to piggyback off one of the main points in this video, and I'm going to play one more video and then I'll be done with videos for today, but one of the states that they highlighted in the video that you guys didn't see, the state of Texas mandates that even if you are a transgender, you must compete in the sport. You must compete in sports based on what your birth certificate identified you as. So this next video, this one, is courtesy of Fox 4 News in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. There is a transgender team. So now we're talking a female transitioning to a boy who wrestles with the girls. So we're going to play this video real quick and then continue the discussion.
Just hours after taking the girls' 6A wrestling state title, transgender Trinity High School junior Mac Beggs told reporters the focus and the spotlight should have been on every wrestler, every other wrestler, including Mac Beggs.
Right. Now, 3 days later, that light, though, still shining on Mac Beggs as he sits down one-on-one with Fox 4.
I now want to advocate for trying to get the law changed because trans athletes, they need to be recognized. It's not just me.
Still hanging in the balance, a lawsuit against the UIL, which aims to stop Beggs from competing against girls next year. But for now, he's taking in the win and realizing he will be fighting for transgender rights. Fox 4's Allison Harris has more now tonight, live from Euless. Allison.
Stephen, Heather, there is still that lawsuit. Many people are upset that he's taking steroids. Even if they're prescribed by a doctor, they feel like that gives him an unfair advantage. He says he'd be happy to wrestle boys. Gender simply should not matter.
Just be able to advocate for my sport and be able to advocate for the LGBT community, two things I love, is just, it's wild. It's a roller coaster.
He's only 17, but Mac Beggs has made history, becoming a national advocate for transgender rights.
My goal is always just to make it to state. Like, I never thought that I would actually win it. And I worked hard for it. And I think that's what people don't understand is that it's not what I put in my body, because I'm not barely getting anything.
Beggs has felt different for as long as he can remember. In middle school, he started identifying as a boy. Then came the hormone blockers, and now testosterone. He sees changes in his body slowly, but he says the amount of testosterone he's taking is so small. Doctors tell him he can't gain much muscle mass yet.
I worked every single day, every morning, every afternoon, every evening. And it had nothing to do with strength. I'm gonna admit, I'm not strong. I'm not that strong.
Beggs says he did hear the boos when he got the gold, but he says the girl he beat in the final bout, Chelsea Sanchez, could not have been more supportive, telling his mother.
If they try to, take him out of wrestling, I'm gonna turn in my mother.
Beggs says he wants to wrestle boys. He wants the UIL to recognize him as a boy.
Change the rules, because I'm not going to be the only one.
Beggs is the first transgender student athlete to come out and win state. He hopes he can create change.
I'm glad I was the first person to actually be able to experience this and carry this burden, because not a lot of people can be able to handle that.
All right, so that is now the flip side, where you have a girl transition to a boy versus boys transitioning to girls. The common theme in both of these stories here is competing in women's sports. So you have guys transitioning to women, competing in women's sports, and the outcry of, you can't do that. You were born a boy, you were born with more natural testosterone, all these advantages. I totally understand the argument. And then you have a once girl transitioning to a boy who wants to compete with the boys, but is then told, nope, you got to go compete with the girls because that's what you were born. And so you now have, again, a group of students, potentially parents, obviously, who are saying, nope, can't do it. If you want to be a boy, go get your behind beat by them, since that's what you want to be. Stop, competing with the girls because you're now on testosterone, steroids, even though administered by a doctor. Nope, can't do it. So that is the central focus, which I guess in hindsight you could say would become it is, how do you determine who can compete where, but then who can compete with the women that are born women, that choose to stay women, the women who feel like they are women. How do you determine who can compete with them amidst all these other things going on in society with, as far as, the transgender community? Now, one question I will pose, I do not have a perfect answer. I have not thought of this long enough. Do we create in the near future, but I guess in the distant future too, do we start to create a level of competition dedicated to, at least in the high school level, children, high school students who are transgender? So essentially, you now create 4 divisions. If you think about it, you have natural born women, natural born girls, natural born boys, and then you have the 2 subset of transgenders, boy to girl, girl to boy, and now you compete in that realm. I don't know. I know for certain that's not the perfect answer. That's not the perfect remedy. But is that something that may be proposed in the future? I don't know. Maybe it could be. But at the same time, when you are of the LGBTQ community and you want acceptance for who you are, ostracizing and isolating you and just saying, nope, you stick to your division, that doesn't necessarily create inclusion. It creates an opportunity to participate, but at the same time, it's still isolation. And so I guess even me counter arguing my initial thought, maybe not. I don't know that I don't have a perfect answer, and I will never have a perfect answer for this, because I'm not transgender. Nobody in my immediate family is. So it's still hard to process and digest. But at the same time, if somebody, I guess in my opinion, if somebody wants to make the transition and say, hey, I want to go compete with the group I now identify as. So in the wrestling case, if a girl wants to transition to a boy, take the necessary, not necessarily, but necessary supplements, steroids, hormones, whatever the case may be, testosterone, to become a boy, I think it's fair game to compete with the boys. I think it's fair game. Now, in putting a pin in that for a second, we've seen it all the time where just girls dominate boys. We've seen it in many sports at many levels. We've seen it. So I am not going to be here to say girls can't compete against dudes, because I've seen it. I've seen women beat up on boys in multiple sporting events, activities, and everybody stuck to what they were born with. I've seen it. So it's not that it cannot be done. I will never say that. I come from a family full of women. I will never say that. But going back to the argument I was making as far as letting people compete, you also have boys transitioning into girls. Now, there was a moment in the first video where the mother who started that petition said, hey, well, if they're going to transition anyway, fine, cool, but give them a year to, at least for the estrogen pills or whatever hormones that they were taking to make their transition, let them give them a year before they can compete. So at least to level the playing field. Also, Keith, to answer your question, where have I seen women dominate boys? Have you not watched the picture from Philly in the Little League World Series like 5 years ago? She played on the boys team and was dominating. So, I can't think of the girl name. I think it started with a J. Anyway, she was a pitcher. And then also, there was the other softball pitcher, Jenny Finch, who was striking out dudes in baseball. And also, you mentioned the professional level. He said not two professionals unless it's tennis or golf. Well, there's women who play basketball who can beat dudes. Now, I'm not asking somebody that's a 6'9" dude to go rough up a 6'2" woman. No. However, there are women out there outside of tennis or golf. Baseball, I think, is one of them. And I guess other Olympic sports, swimming. I think that's a fair argument too. Where women can dominate boys. Now, are there natural predispositions where men are supposed to be more dominant? Yes, I get that. Biology is what it is. I don't believe in at least putting a cap or limiting somebody at least wanting to do it. If you really want to go compete in a different gender, at least when I'm in this particular example, if you're a girl, want to go compete with the dudes, go compete with the dudes. If you want to be a dude, compete with the girls. I guess I side with the mother of the first video and saying, hey, if you're going to take all these hormones to change and develop and do all these other things, well then, yeah, let all of that occur first. Level the playing field. If you can. But again, this one is it's touchy because it's still new. It's still very new. And I don't think as a society we will ever, I guess, create the perfect answer, because I don't think there's one perfect solution. I do believe that it takes a gathering of sound minds, also inclusive minds, to create some type of remedy where it's okay. And there's a unanimous, I guess, acceptance across the board in all 50 states, at least within this country. Internationally, I can't talk international politics. It's not my field. But at least stateside, I think there are things that we as a country and as individual states can do to level the playing field, or at least allow sports to be inclusive to the transgender community, which, hey, just because you're transgender doesn't mean you can't play sports, so you should not be limited in your ability to do that. But there's something that needs to be done. I don't know what, and I'll stop talking because I keep going back and forth with it. But with all of that being said, inclusion matters to everybody. So, and just this is just for regular, general purposes. Be nice to people in the world that you see, whether they're different from you, because everybody's different. Just be nice, be kind. Also, I won't say that on air. But just be cognizant of the things you say and how you say them and who they affect, whether they're there in front of you or not. That is my spiel for today. If you guys want to do, your own research and, get in touch with me, reach out to me on Instagram, life_of_Mark_. That's my name on Instagram, Life of Mark, with all the underscores in between. Reach out to me. I will be back next week again live. Outside of that, y'all, peace, love, and happiness. And guess what? I'm out of here.